Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for the most boring part of the review. Again, we're going to talk about Viscerality. Last time around, we didn't do Viscerality because it was correctly pointed out to me that this is the type of thing that should belong in the patch within, so we could probably showcase the hero specs as well. And that is correct, of course. Like, I started showing off Fire Mage, and then someone was like, hold up! Hold up! And I'm like, you're absolutely right. You're a genius. Whoop, too close. So, Viscerality. Viscerality, for those of you not aware, covers three separate categories of consequence. One is how good it looks, one is how good it sounds, and one is how good it feels. So, we'll start with Fury Warrior. That both looks and sounds great. Nice, big, bassy, meaty sounding hits. And of course, it looks fantastic. Like there is a viscerality to how you swing your strikes. My personal favorite is Rampage. This attack right here. Okay, let me show that off again in case you missed it. It's a three-part attack. It moves so fast you might not have caught it, but it's 1, 2, and then there's this pause as you wind up and then slam right into the face as hard as you can. So, Fury Warrior, yeah. I don't know what RSI stands for. TMA, Huthor, TMA. No. I'm not going to go back and give well over half of the games that we have reviewed a negative to RSI. Because most of them would qualify for that. Including every Mega Man game, just as a start. So, no. Now, Fury Warrior Impact. I would say Fury Warrior has decent impact. Probably single positive worthy. So we'll call, well, what would be a triple? Let's establish some range here. What do we think would be a triple impact? Is there a triple impact, actually? I can think of a few triple visuals. I can think of a couple triple audios, but is there a triple impact? I suppose it might be Demon Hunter, now that I'm saying that out loud. So on that scale, yeah, I'm going to go with a single. That feels right. Good viscerality, good visual, decent audio, decent impact. Let's go ahead and glance at Arms while we're here. Arms is Frost, but worse. We've actually already talked about this. Is this the actual gear I have on? That's funny. So, Arms. I don't know, it just does not have the same oomph that Fury does it? So, we're going to go with worse in every way. Unless Huthor disagrees. But he would never disagree with me. Explain, Huthor. I would say the sound is actually about equivalent. But visually? Nah, it doesn't even come close visually. I would say the one attack that ARMS has that really has good visual viscerality would be Colossus Smash, which, yeah. You like the sound design more? Well, I do agree that I like the sound design, so I think I agree that it is at least as good as Fury's. Visuals, I can't agree that the visuals look better. In fact, there's less visuals there, in general. Most of them are just swings. And Impact, of course, deals with... For some reason, my viewers have the hardest time with Impact, even though, in my mind, it is so simple. And I don't mean that as an elitist thing, more as it's always frustrating me trying to explain Impact. So let me explain the Impact the way I usually do. Let's say you're playing an FPS, and you've got a gun. Chunk. And you go, raka, 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 raka. And you pour tons of death and fire and rockets and lasers and nuclear explosions into your enemy, and it does 1 damage. That is bad Impact. Good. To quack. Impact is about how much it actually feels like it's doing. It tends to have more to do with a percentage output more than anything else. MMOs tend to vary a little bit on Impact, to use the other example we've used. Something like, say, where is it? Machinist actually has really high impact because it goes boom and really big, really impacting powerful attacks. Whereas something like, say, Ninja does not. You think ARMS is better at that too? Make your case! I'm going to move on while you make that. Because I don't have anything else to add to this. Okay. So. Of course I would have this on. So, Prot Warrior. I don't have that talent? Hold on. What? Oh, I don't have any talents. Oh, god damn it. Hang on. We had to reset. Give me a second. Hey, Mr. Floyd. God damn it. Ahem. As I was trying to say. Well, at the moment, the lowest scoring spec is, I'm not sure what it is, actually. Hard to gauge. 7, 7, 5. Another 5. Looks like Holy Paladin and Mark's Hunter are so far the lowest scoring, not counting Viscerality. So let's look at our new specs while we're here, shall we? So I already saw one of them. That's the mountain thing. The mountain. So let's talk about the specs in general. Wait, should we talk about the specs now? Maybe we should wait. Let's wait. Change my mind. Death to warriors. Stab. So next on the list. What is next on the list? Is Warlock. So, we'll start with whatever this is, which is apparently Affliction. That guy is chained really hard, like way over there for some... You okay, buddy? Okay, whatever. How would you review class fantasy, Magister? Hi, Minister. Yeah, honestly, real talk, I'm not impressed at all on all 3 axes for Affliction. It doesn't look cool, doesn't sound cool, and it barely feels like you're doing anything. The spec itself is actually fine, I would say, in terms of, like, mechanics. But... skip over to Demo here. Demo's going to get at least 1 plus, I think. For a fairly basic reason, but I stand by it. We actually have talents, which we do. Okay, so... let's do this, and then this, and then this, this, and then... Hey, Evo. Yes, Autumn Dumia. So, yeah. The visuals are definitely going to win here, I think. There is something legitimately cool about summoning a gigantic army, a varied army, no less, of various mobs that just go and hit the enemy. Not super impressed on the audio side of things, I'm not going to lie. But the visual is great. I also think all 3 of the major pet classes will get the, what I've already called the Chipper Shredder positive. In other words, it does feel like you're just kind of piling on the damage, and then piling on more, and then piling on more, and then piling on more, until there's just 20 machine guns all pouring fire into something. And there's a... It's different from what you normally think of as impact, but it definitely vibes, right? To use the FPS equivalent again, it's when you get the minigun completely spooled up, and you're just, whatever you're pointing at is just getting hit by an absolute hail of bullets. It's the same kind of feeling there. Now, Destro... Yeah, exactly. Make sure we're all set up, which we are. The Destro's a little different. Let's... Oh, I actually had the wrong pet out, too. That's funny. Whatever. I'll always give them credit for the fact that Destro actually feels different from Fire. That is to say, Fire Mage. See around Noctis. Yeah, we'll call that decent. Still good enough for positives, but nothing super wowy, and nothing super batty either. What did that guy do that I'm torturing? I mean, he's a demon. I accuse you of being a demon. So, Shaman. Shaman got a bit of an overhaul a few years ago. Let's see how it looks and sounds, shall we? Let's get a little bit further away. Okay, that is way cooler audio and visual than the previous mage we just tried out. That looks badass. I like that. I like that a lot. Look at that. Good impact, good visuals, good variety, good cast on us, good cast in the air, good cast on target. Oh, whoops. Yeah, remember, we're just covering Viscerality right now. Okay. So, enhancement, huh? So we have all our talents, which we do. Sorry, I was just remembering the Undermine quest, where you throw an Earth Totem at the enemy, and then he starts attacking twice as fast. Honestly, not as impressive as Enhancement. I still like the visuals. And the audio is more or less the same. However, I do agree with the impact. Whereas Fury at least feels like it's got some decent impact to it, and you feel like you're actually hitting in that chipper shredder kind of a way. This feels like the same thing, but weaker. You do a lot in order to do very little. It's a problem I've had with several classes in the game, in various MMOs I've covered. Also, one of my bigger complaints about Enhancement Shaman, I forget the name of the ability. Is this it? Yeah, Maelstrom, I think. It feels like it takes too long to get 10 stacks of Maelstrom. Like, it feels like for a class that is this type of class, which is a fast hitter, multiple strikes kind of a class, you should be hitting your Maelstrom more frequently, or it should be more impactful. One of the two. As his Maelstrom feels just kind of unimpressive, I think is the word I want to use there. Hello, Zara. Hang on, hang on. Well, let's see if that changes anything. Okay, yeah, that does feel better. I would still only put that at the level of Fury, though. I've seen the Chipper Shredder specs in this game. This is an acceptably good one. Yeah, I thought it seemed slow, too. That got my face. Thank you for pointing that out. I do have a healer target, right? Can I just heal these people? I probably can't. Is there no healer training dummy here? Sorry, I really hate that particular piece of the Voltoon song. So I just really wanted to get away with it for a second. No, whatever. We'll do it on ourselves. Heal thyself, shaman. Shaman is one of those classes that benefited from new healing magic, because shaman spells used to look really boring. Fundamental rework, huh? I wonder why. Endless options for renewal, Mr. Red. So, call me a weirdo. I actually really like both the audio and the visual of Resto Shaman. Quite a bit. The water motif works best for it. And you've got so many different... Like, just listen to it for a second. I'll turn off the music. It almost sounds like it sounds weak, but in a good way, if that makes any sense. It sounds watery. It sounds like there's just waves of a river going by, which tracks, because that's what they're going for. And I love the new watery effects they added for this whenever they did that particular update. Yeah, it sounds refreshing. That's a good word for it. Impact, on the other hand, I have healed on a Resto Shaman, recently even. I think that's falling behind a bit. I'm guessing this might be part of the total overhaul that you just mentioned. Don't mistake me. I enjoy healing on a Shaman, but I always feel like I'm falling behind. I'm just straight up getting rid of the Cloudburst, huh? Okay. I will say one of the more interesting things about healing on a Shaman is, I've done it several times over the years, and how much they occasionally rely more or less on one spell, which is Chain Heal. Chain Heal has always just been kind of a bread and butter. Rogue. My personal least favorite class in this game. Where are my rogues? Where are my rogues at? Where are my rogues? Ah! There it is. No? No. There it is. So, Rogue. Rogue. I was talking about Rogue recently when I was going through the Legion remix. A friend of mine actually really likes Subtlety Rogue, and for the record, I do too. But I've said this before, I'll say this again. Subtlety Rogue is a mage blade. It is a magic melee, right? That is what the class is. Saying anything otherwise is just kidding yourself. And I wish that Assassin leaned more into being an alchemist, because that's kind of where that's going. And Outlaw being a pirate is interesting. All three of those are interesting dynamics, but I feel like they just don't quite know how to pull it off. So, forgive me. Let's just start with Subtlety here. Hi, Sean. So I'm not feeling the audio at all. It doesn't help that many of my attacks use the exact same audio file there. The visuals are fine. Yeah, the visuals are old. That's a good way to put it. I don't think they're actively bad. But yeah, lack of visuals and lack of audio make a class that's just, eh. I'm reminded of something. Not that he's here to appreciate this, but back during the Pandaria bit of the run, I was playing, I think, Silver first, specifically, and I was playing a Subtlety rogue. And at one point, he commented on how bored I must be hitting the same two buttons over and over, and I was confused by that, because Subtlety is actually a pretty complex class to play. There's a lot going on, and it's a massive layering of priority systems, right? Like, there's not really much of a static rotation for a Subtlety rogue, which is great. It's one of the features of the class that I like. So I had to sit down and talk him through what I was doing, at which point he was like, oh, I had no idea all that stuff was going on. Which makes sense, because it doesn't look or sound like much is actually happening, does it? I will give it impact. I never feel like I'm not contributing as a subtlety rogue, you know what I mean? When I go and fight something as a subtlety rogue, I know it. Like, I'm saying that so badly. It is subtle, you might say. Ha ha ha. I honestly feel like they should probably either lean into being flashier or actually go ahead and lean into being even quieter with it. Like, actually make it this stealthy looking class. I'm not sure which of those is the correct option. It would be interesting to play around with it for a bit. But speaking of, let's scooch over to the alchemy class. I'm not even kidding. Assassination is straight up alchemist. It's all about poisons and bleeds. Let's go ahead and get our poisons going, speaking of which. I think I have the thing, which allows me to have triple. Well, I mean, I also have enough faith in the Blizzard art and audio team to see what they could do with a quieter subtlety spec, right? We've seen recently in Koresh how they can make something look and sound empty without it sounding boring, right? Because there's a skill to that. There's a skill to making something look devoid without it making it look dull. Deserts, in general, is another example of this. Deserts in WoW look fantastic. They look like big, empty, barren wastelands. But that's because there's a lot going on visually to make them look like that. We know what boring deserts look like. We've played Tor. And STO, actually, now that I think about that. Yeah, maybe have some whispers in there. Maybe like little whooshes of the shadowy realm kind of zipping through. Maybe even make a thing. This might be too far, but like one of the big abilities, like one of your buffs, maybe make it so it like mutes the audio a little bit. And so the player just hears nothing except for the occasional until the buff falls off. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Anyways, assassination. Little bit better on the visuals. Little bit. Might not even be enough. I don't know. I do love the visual on their closer. Check this out. I'm going to zoom in for a bit. That right there. And of course, spreading the poison all over the place. Same audio problem, though. I will give it the impact, just like I do subtlety, but... What are we thinking on the visuals? Just the visuals. Yeah, I'm kind of not feeling it either. Yeah, the coin's the hero talent thing, if you're wondering what that is. Because I'm a fate bound. I don't know, maybe like having more poison and or bleeding attacks. Like imagine as you're doing your swing, there's like this trail of poison or like a trail of blood just kind of following it as it's going. Yeah. Not super impressed. Outlaw. So this is going to be funny. Outlaw is pretty much, like, demonstrably the worst of these three specs in, like, application. I have a feeling it's actually going to score best on Viscerality, because Outlaw... Well, okay, hang on. I'm immediately contradicting myself here. Oh my god, did you hear that? Okay, that's a cool attack, for example. But, like, oh my god. The guns. Guns need to sound like guns. I can barely even tell those are guns. Also, they got rid of our cannon shot, which I'm still mad about. Oh, whoops. I literally don't have the weapon equipped. That's... Whoops. Oh. Yeah, I was wondering, but whatever, honestly. That's just our finisher. Yeah, guns need to have a base to them. Yeah, they got rid of the gun sound for everything, for hunters and for rogues now, obviously, and it's like, why? What would my sentence be for him? Massive community service, Sean. His powers could be used to great effect to help a large amount of people over a large period of area. So, but yeah, it's just this little... Here, listen. That's my big shot. That's the gunshot. That's the 30-second... Excuse me, 45-second cooldown. And it sounds like that. My little shot sounds like this. So anyways, yeah, rogues. I don't have it installed right now. So, yeah, okay, moving on. Priest is next. This should be interesting. I love that artwork of the Priest Order Hall. Netherlight Temple. What are we right now? Shadow. So Shadow is obviously the best spec in the game, as Evo can attest to. I'm not sure what my setup is. Okay. So yeah, call me crazy. I love the look of Shadow ever since they did the overhaul. It's another Chipper Shredder class. You have a lot of sources of damage, and all of them are just kind of either summoned by you, or landing on you, or whatever, and it's just all of this void death you're pouring into the enemy constantly. Just gonna recast there. Shadow is very high visual, and honestly, I think its audio is pretty high too. You hear the whispers. You hear the whispers too, right, brothers? Yeah, no, Shadow is in a really good place right now. I already gave it, like, I was always really impressed. This part of the talent tree right over here is weirdly good. There's enough crisscrossing that you have a little bit of malleability, but you're really encouraged to go down one of these 4 spokes. They either want you to be Cthulhu, Yogg, N'Zoth, or Y'Shaarj, and pick from these. I picked 3, because I can manage that, but you can really go full in into 2. I think it's impossible to get all 4. Don't quote me on that. Either way, we're not talking about the talent tree right now. That's different. I would say Shadow Priest is kind of a knockout. That's impressive. Yeah, Shadow Priest is yet another Chipper Shredder spec. So, now we've got Discipline. I anticipate this will be the weak link of these. We'll find out in a second. Oh, you know what? I would hesitate a moment. But Recuperate doesn't do my health. Damn it. I need water. No one sell any water? Yeah, Discipline... Yeah. And I have, like, no mana. Well, anyways. Discipline gets stuff like this. This is admittedly extremely cool. I think it sounds terrible. I would say the audio is just legitimately weak for Discipline Priest. Visual is kind of cool, and impact is a weird one. I want some feedback on impact for Discipline Priest. I will admit it's not super up to my personal preference in terms of healing style I like. But that's not really what this is about. My point is I have less exposure to it. Because, yeah, like... yeah, see, the problem with Discipline is... A Discipline Priest is extraordinarily useful, but Impact is more about how you, the player, feel playing it. Like, if I can use a comparison, if there's one healer spec that's going to get lots of impact, viscerality positives, it's Druid. Because you can see your HOTS rolling on 10 people simultaneously, and you just see health popping up everywhere constantly. Like you're just constantly flinging out all of the things, right? That's fun. That's impactful. That makes it feel like you're having an impact on things, which it helps that you are. Discipline is kind of different because, yeah, what happens with Discipline is if you're doing it right, you don't see the damage. So much of what you do puts on damage denial, which is great. Let me think about this for a minute. I've seen Discipline Priest doing really well. And yeah, you could heal by damaging. You could also put up bubbles by damaging, if I remember correctly. Like, I think there's a talent for that. Anyways. I'm going to actually score it pretty well on the impact. I think I am, because I've seen good Discipline Priests do good job, and it's something else to just see a bundle of absorbs across your screen, you know? And of course, the whole time you're doing cool stuff like this. I wish the audio was better. That is terrible audio. So, Holy. I think I'm the only person on the planet who actually enjoys Holy Priest healing. The whole thing just clicks with me in a way that I have trouble putting into words. You heal in order to heal in order to heal. Everything you do has a knock-on effect on something else you are now capable of doing. But it's like individual things, right? It's not like I'm building up to like my healing bar, which I then spend. I am reducing the cooldowns of my heals, which using them also reduces the cooldowns of my heals. Yeah, it's if you think of healer, this is probably what a healer looks like, right? It is shaped like a healer. You can do Holy Nova. I don't have it in my bar, I'm sorry. You can turn into a golden halo. That's just kind of cool. You also got that. Notice the audio still sucks. God, compare and contrast the Shaman Elemental audio we had earlier to this nonsense. Or hell, even the Shadow Priest audio to this. Yeah, I don't have it on my bar. Sorry, Evil. Do I have it, period? I might not. Hang on. Holy Nova, Holy Nova. Nope, I do not have Holy Nova. So, great visuals, I think. I love just the varying types of holy light being spammed everywhere. And definitely impact as well. But nothing on the audio. In fact, I'm going to give a negative. Whoops. To Rogue. But also to Priest. Like, I'm sorry, it's bad. Like, diminishes the enjoyability of an otherwise excellent spec. Bad. Like I was just talking about, Subtlety Rogue is badass. Anybody who's played Subtlety Rogue or Assassin Rogue knows just how fun those specs are. And they'll tell me like, whoop, whoop. Do I have... That doesn't matter. After Priest, we have Paladin. Well, we've got our Resident Paladin for that. So we've been showing off Retribution this whole time. Let's just get this out of the way. Retribution looks badass. And in case you need a refresher and haven't been watching the last, like, 5 days of streaming... Yeah, Retribution looks great, sounds great, feels great. It is one of the few specs I could say is just right there where it needs to be on all three axes of Viscerality. Bam, bam, bam. So, yeah. I think I've made my point there. I gotta wait till I'm out of combat here. Waiting. Waiting. Okay, here we go. Now, protection, obviously, turbo sucks. Quite possibly, Serrani. Because, yeah, actually, I really like the look of Paladin over at FF14 as well. Go figure.
I have many, many wares. May your feet find good trails.
So, surely Protodon is not equally as cool. Final Fantasy has had a paladin class as far back as Final Fantasy IV, which is 1991 for perspective. So, yeah. Prot Paladin is in a good place, too. Now, Holy Paladin. I have been rather maligned for my general dislike of playing Holy. How does it feel? How does it look? How does it sound? I don't think it's as good. What are we thinking? Ignore the holy beacon of light over my head. I think I agree. The visuals are pretty standout for Holy. I don't feel the audio nearly as well. And the impact is fine? I welcome some feedback on Holy Paladin impact. It's another one of those specs I just don't enjoy. And so I don't do much with. Now, while people give me feedback on that, I'm going to go see that donation. I mean, melee healer was what Monk was supposed to be. And someone ruined it. Evo! Alright, Epic Mickey. R. Actually, let's just do this. Contradiction. And Kingdoms of Amalur. Good afternoon, Walker. Yeah, I could feel a single for Holy Paladin. Well, right now we're going through Viscerality. Oh, you suck, Uthor. That's another one I'm never going to get. Until I go back and solo it. Next would be, speaking of melee healers, Monk. Yes, Walker. It did. So whatever we are now, looks like we're Brewmaster. We'll do that first, make sure we're all set up, which we are. My favorite sound effect from Monk is the drinking. Which I can't showcase right now because I don't have a drink I can use. But it's good, I swear. There it is. I'm actually going to give Brewmaster Monks a double on Viscerality for impact, because I know exactly how it feels to properly utilize your stagger bar. And I know that sounds like a dumb thing to say, but there's something really impressive about weaving your crits into avoidance, using that to get a nice big stagger, and then just kind of erasing it. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You feel like a complete badass when you're doing Brewmaster. Sweet. I could be talked up to a triple. That might be one of the best impact specs in the game. I could, you know. Slow down. Life is to be punched. All right. Hang on. Umbral Magnus. Getting 5, 2. Got a Hearts. Covenant. And Legend of Spyro. Thank you, Umbral Magnus, very much. God, I hate this song so much. But there's nothing for it. This is the only spot I know where this crap is here. You know what? Let's get some real Orgrimmar music going here. Oh, yeah. Behold. Okay, so. Wind. Yeah. So I think the audio's a bit weaker, but I think the visuals are better for Wind. I mean, look at this. Look at this. Yeah, it feels fast without actually being, you know, fast. Not really. That's another good impact one, too, while we're on the subject. Mr. Ed, you don't have money. Stop giving it to me. Whoops. Thank you, Mr. Ed. I do always appreciate you. For whatever it's worth. Epic Mickey, R. Contradiction, and Wrath of the Righteous. You know what? Actually, yeah, Esmeralda, that's a really good comparison point. Oh, it's so great, isn't it, Mr. Red? It really is. There's a reason I gave you that exact version of it. Yeah, no, exactly, Huthor. Like, the loop is... It's what Fury Warrior honestly probably should be, mechanically. Right? I mean, that makes sense. Of course, Monk is a better class. It's a more modern class. God damn it. I mean, Fury is the best warrior spec, I agree with that. It's just outpaced by other specs that do its job even better, which we haven't gotten to yet, but we will. Okay, so first of all, Merry Christmas, Walker. Second of all, thank you for the donation. third of all, Walker wants me to put it to people in chat. It looks like everyone's a sub right now. Usually I give it to people who don't have money to sub. So... let's give it to Esmira Star, because she's sick. And... Mook, for constantly disagreeing with me about everything. Nah, Mr. Red doesn't get it. Mr. Red gets even more than that. He doesn't deserve it, that's actually true. In an ideal world, I would be able to pay Mr. Red what he's worth. Wrath of the Righteous. That's... interesting, Uthor. I wonder how that'll work out. You gotta pick something, Esmir. You got 5 seconds. Don't make me do it, Esmir Star. I will do it. I swear to God. I mean, that makes sense because there's no reason to use Judgment under that circumstance, I think. Alright, Esmir Star. This is it. Okay. Dragon Age 4 it is. Mistweaver. Yeah, exactly, Udor. Okay, so, real talk. My opinion on Mist Monk has changed pretty much every time I've gone back to replay it. Oh god, I don't have anyone to heal around here. Why is the Orgrimmar training area so crap? You know what? Hang on. I'm not sure where the target dummies are. Does anyone know where the target dummies are here? It looks promising. No friendly targets? It's gotta be a friendly target, right? No, whatever. Okay. Alright, Chen. I can't heal.
Good day to you, Grandmaster. Is there anything I can help with?
Yes, I require your help in healing you. So, okay. So we've got that, which is great. Got the bubble, vivify. I love the bouncing hot, I do. I don't know. I'm set up to be not fist weaving. For what it's worth, I do actually like the current iteration of mist healing. It feels like what Resto Shaman probably should be. And yeah, it looks great. So, first of all, you've got a hot that bounces. That's cool. Second of all, you've got a heal which is a really pathetic heal. But that heal also makes it so that anything else you use there is massively magnified. So, like, pop this here, And then all of a sudden you're healing that target a lot. So, you know, you prop that whoever needs it, or of course, the tank would be an obvious example. You've got the channel, which also is reflected by your statue, so you can have two channels going at the same time. You've got the giant wave of healing death, which also does damage in front of you. The oh crap button, which is a combination bubble heal. And it all looks and sounds pretty cool. And it is impacting. The downside, if you could call it that, as far as a viscerality thing, this isn't one of those specs where it's very easy to feel like you're not doing anything at any given point in time. You don't have the sheer throughput of like a holy priest, and you don't have the massive coverage of a resto druid. You're constantly doing a bunch of different things which layer onto each other, which can eventually pull it up. So I think the impact isn't as high as it could be, but the visuals and the audio, I think, are much better. I mean, the visuals are amazing. Revival is also insane, yeah. I'll give you that. I agree with 1 to impact. And I guess that's all of them. Yep, that's brew, that's win, that's bump. Oh, I'm stuck in combat. Yeah! Okay, there we go. Okay. After Iron Mend, we have Mage. This should be fun. I have no idea how Mage is going to go. So we'll start with Frost, because that's what we are right now. Frost is, of course, objectively the best mage. Jokes aside, I think Frost Mage might be one of the better looking of the various mages in the entire game. Just in general, just the amount of frost, of ice and snow and sleet that you can get on the screen, plus this thing, is really cool. Yeah, it looks very satisfying. Also, you definitely have that impact, 100%. Yeah, the sound design, I was really torn on the sound design. Because it is weak, but well designed. It sounds like icicles. It's very, very high-pitched. It's very crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. And I kind of wish, like, for example, for the big hit, right? For the glacial spike, there was something a little bit more impacting, like a kind of a sound. Even if it was just for that one ability. Imagine if you're going through and you're just having your rotation, and it's nice, high-pitched attacks like this, and it's all just, you know, the normal kind of a stuff. And you got your snow and your blizzard and your icicles all over the place. And then you just all of a sudden hear this like a really big bassy attack for the spike. Right? Just as a nice emphasis on the rest of it. I think that would really pull it up. So, big plus on the visuals. Okay on the audio. Big plus on the impact. I have never, in all of WoW history, I have never not felt like I am doing something as a Frost Mage. So, fire. There's, hang on. Let me get some mana buns. Hey, Evo, I found him. Sorry. This is my real gear? Oh god, I think it is. Yep. So. Fire. We are doing them separate. Don't worry. Like it's that. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Whoops. Let me just hit all the wrong buttons here. So, yeah. Looks great. Sounds great. Yeah, I was just debating the same thing. Here's the thing about impact. I know I'm not the only person where if you get off sync, how many of you have ever danced or done like a routine, like for a band or something in school, and you get off sync and you feel like you're stuttering to try and get back on the pattern. And it's harder to do because like you are mentally just thrown by that. And of course you're embarrassed and you feel weird and you're just trying to get back to the thing. And that's a lot of what fire feels like if you make a misstep. I actually made 2 mistakes in that rotation if you're paying attention. I'm sure all of you noticed because you're probably better fire mages than I am. And I was just like, whoops. And there's just this weird moment of... and I do think it kind of detracts a little bit from playing as fire. Because when it flows, oh, it's so good when it flows. Oh, the visuals are fantastic. And the audio is damn good, too. I think it still deserves... Sorry, I'm debating. Yeah, actually. I think it at least deserves a positive for impact. Fire Mage, when it hits like a truck, right? Now, here's the one I expect will score the least of the 3. At least on this axis. Arcane. So, Arcane's a little bit harder to score compared to the others, because Arcane's build is actually noticeably different. Excuse me, its rotation is noticeably different based on how you do it. And so you can have lots and lots and lots of buttons. Too many buttons, actually. It is possible to spec into way too much of a bar here. Look at this. We've got Arcane Surge, we've got Touch of the Magi, we've got Presence of Mind, there's obviously Arcane Missiles, we've got Evocation, and I feel like there's another one somewhere. Maybe there isn't anymore, but I swear there's another. Anyways, the point being, there's lots and lots of usables, the squares, right? And that means having a very busy bar. But... Yeah. So Arcane is a friend of mine used to call these freight train specs. Arcane takes a minute to get going, but once it does, you just kind of pile the damage on, right? It's actually very similar to Demonology for Warlock right now. Demonology starts off like, okay, here's a dude, here's a couple of imps, and then here's some wolves, and then here's some wolves and some more imps, and then here's a big guy, and then here's some other guys, and here's 3 more imps, and here's more wolves. And you just kind of, yeah, you freight train it, right? Until it's just absolutely running over the enemy. Now, that is the catch. With Arcane Mage, similar to Fire Mage, if you hit a nickel, a metaphorical nickel on the train tracks, then yeah, that sucks. And it takes something to recover. Now, good news is that's what evocation is for. That's what they used to have. It was the gem. They got rid of the gem, didn't they? There used to be a mana gem here. Did they completely get rid of it? They did. Wow. And yes, Arcane is... I would actually say Arcane is a higher skill floor than the other 2 mage specs. That's not an elitism thing. It's just a statement of fact. It's a lot more resource management in addition to the usual things like cooldown management and rotation management. That was the other ability I was thinking of, was the Mana Gem. But anyways, point being that it is possible to just kind of go dry stick and be like, oh, right. Now, thank you, Umbral Magus, very, very much. As always. Give me a moment. I will jot that down. Yeah, it's hard to ding a class for something it's doing very deliberately. Not impossible. We've done it all the time. But it's more difficult. Trails of Crossbow. Trails of Cold Steel. Trails of Into Reverie. Yeah, class How would we review class fantasy? What would you put that under? Real question, non-facetious. How would you categorize class fantasy? Because that almost feels like that fits under Viscerality, which is what we're covering. How good does it look? How good does it sound? How good does it feel? Right? Hey guys! What's going on? I'm here to show off some hunter stuff, so just bear with me, okay? Just give me a minute. So let's see. Right, I gotta show off. What am I? Oh, right now I'm a survival hunter. Okay, now. I know this is gonna sound weird, okay, but survival hunter, it's great. It's a melee, okay? Sorry, I don't mean to be all Nightborn about it. What I mean by that is, like, you get right up and you smack stuff. It's just whack, right? Here, let me just show you. Let me get up here. Whoop, that's not what I want. I want this guy. There we go. Okay, so we're just gonna, like, send up here and get right up in their faces. There we go. Oh, yeah, there we go. Right up in their faces. Is it hitting back? I don't actually want it to hit back. Where's the training dummy that doesn't hit back? Hang on, Lucas Slaughter. Hang on. Give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I was a dual-wield hunter back in BC. No joke. Okay, for real. Where's, like, just the target dummy? Is that the... Okay, that's just the target dummy. Okay, we're good. We're good! Found it! Found it. Let's try this again. Okay, so... Just get right up in its face. Once again. Oh, that's why. Something's literally wrong. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, jokes aside, obviously I think Survival Hunter is the best spec right now overall. It is fun, it is fluid, it has good utility, and it feels great to play. But that's not what we're reviewing right now. We're reviewing Viscerality. Hello, Riplinger. Hope your day is going well. Yeah, it doesn't have nearly the kind of punch that some of the other melee specs do. I think it sounds better than several we've already covered. Like Rogue. But compared to, say, Warrior, it's just not at the same level. It looks fine, I think. And I will say, I know it has great impact, because I've played this spec extensively. So I think impact is the one place in which this is going to actually shine. When you're playing a survival hunter, you feel like you're nailing it, right? I know a lot of you know what I mean by that. Especially when you hit your big buttons. So, not too great on the other two fronts. Dude, chill, 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 chill. Come here. Come here, come here, come here. Stay, 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 stay. Thank you, Riplinger. I'm glad you like it. And thank you, Lucas Slaughter, for the donation. I don't know what that's going towards, but we'll figure that out in a second. Let's see, Dragon Age 4, Epic Mickey R, Contradiction. So now we'll go with the worst. I think we'll just use the word worst spec here. See how it feels to look. Alright, and there's this frickin' druid here. Why is there a druid here? Damn you, druid! Okay, fine, I'll go to Orgrimmar. Hang on, guys! Guys, listen. We gotta go to Orgrimmar for a second, okay? Just give me a moment. I also gotta change my mount. Just give me one sec. A friend of mine just got this thing. Down in, oh, what's it called? Resh, I think? You know how the ethereals are. There's always too many apostrophes in there. Right. They were out in space. Sure. Anyways. Transmog is per spec, or I should say can be per spec. These are incorrect. Hello. Alright, so. Marksman, right? Well, should probably put a gun on for this. That's not my gun. Do I not have a gun? There's my gun. Okay, I got a gun. Okay. We're cool, guys. I remember my gun. Okay, so. Okay. This music is just Swiftshot's theme song, isn't it? Oh, that's awful. I know I'm using a gun, and that's part of the problem, but I shouldn't have to transmog off of a gun just to have a decent-sounding weapon. What are we feeling? Yeah, I don't like marks, by the way. I mean, it's fine. It's just unremarkable. And I guess that's the point. Like, it's supposed to be the sniper spec. Yeah, the sound is... again, I think I'm actually going to give that an honest-to-God negative. For sound. See you around, Walker. Have a good one. Yes, it's the unremarks. Exactly. I will say this, in its defense, its impact is decent. You do feel like a sniper. Your hits are big and or multitudinous. But it also suffers from really, in my opinion, only being good if you happen to have a group. Which is fine in an MMO. Like, if I was doing a dungeon, I'd feel fine. But soloing marks just feels bad. Let's test something really quick. Just to be thorough. Just to do our job.
Crunchies, lucky doos, and rope.
I guess I could... Oh, shoot. I just lost the whole thing. Ah. Oh. So let's do a bow. Just any bow, really. Just something. God. You'll do. Come here, let's go. Oh, wait, no. There we go.
Farewell, friend of the Grumbles.
So, open with the big hit. I mean, that sounds better. It does. What's that, Uther? Not as of this exact second, Ripplinger. Obviously, since I'm streaming. But, yeah. Alright, oh, God, yeah, Huthor, I could see that. So here's the one you've all been waiting for. Beast Mastery. And for Beast Mastery, we're going to change the music up. Alright. So, let's just start with the obvious. Beastmaster just, by default, has 2 pets out. And it goes up from there. It might not be obvious, but I have a lot more than 2 pets over there right now. Just absolutely swarming the target. Just swarming it. Hold on. I'm missing a talent, aren't I? Yeah, I decided not to get it. Why did I decide not to get it? Oh, that's right. I was going to try out Bestial Wrath spec. That's why. Yeah, come back, guys. Come back. Well, anyways. Yeah. It's Beast Marks. Beast Marks? Beast Hunter kinda nails it. It even has good audio because you hear all the pets constantly going rawr, and just swarming the enemy. And if you'll give me a second, I'll try to make that sound slightly better.
Oh, I have just the thing, Wanderer.
By putting a bow on. Oh, and while we're here.
May your feet
There we go. Let's try that again. Although, actually, you know what? Hang on. Just for the show off. There we go. Just look at it. Just look at that mess over there. You can barely even see the target dummy under that nonsense. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm gonna argue for a triple for visuals on the Beast Hunter. Any thoughts on that? I'll accept some pushback, obviously. Shouldn't have to say that. Of course I'll accept pushback. It's just, yeah, God, it's so satisfying when you really get it rolling. This one is set up as pack leader, of course. So yeah, I've got the wyvern, boar, or bear, which are even better. I don't know. The list of stuff you can tame at this point is actually pretty large. Like this dude over here. We don't know whose soul is in this thing, but you know what? If I go Dark Ranger, then I have to switch characters. We'll cover that later. Hang on. Patience, Uther. Patience. So impatient. My God. Evoker. So someone asked earlier if I like healing on Evoker. No. Now, I will admit, a lot of my opinion on Evoker was fundamentally screwed over because I did an entire dungeon where I just could not keep someone alive. And it was really pissing me off. To the point where I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? I am not this bad of a healer. Turns out I didn't have Living Flame on my bar, which as a healer is your filler heal. So... anyways. So, this is Devastation. Hang on, we need dragon music. What would dragon music be? Okay. This is actually the lightest class of the game, it just occurred to me. So, really high cool factor here, I think. Very, very high cool factor. Yeah, looks great, sounds great, feels great. Unironically, Devastation might be the highest viscerality of any class in the game, which makes sense, because it's Brand Frickin' is, what, 2 years old now? Devastation, right? Yeah. What do you mean? My dragon form looks... actually, I've got the wrong outfit on, but whatever. Can I fix it really quick? I'm actually pretty proud of how my outfit looks. That is to say, my evoker. Yeah, I got the black and white silver kind of thing going on.
Yum, shop, browse. Smell.
Hang on a sec.
Beware of Yeti. Oh, I have just the thing.
There we go.
Good fortune to all friends of the Grummels.
If I might be so bold, I am also rather fond of my transmog for her. Yeah, I know, I used a few pieces of Arathi gear in there, but it's not my fault Arathi gear is awesome, okay? Anyways. Devastation is damned good, obvs. Let's go ahead and hit Preservation. The worst spec in the game. which apparently I haven't finished out on my Chrono Ward. Hang on, let's fix that up really quick. So, preservation is... where do I even start? Where's the... Yeah, here we go. Healing dummies is what I want. I've actually got healing dummies here. I love how we have a deep breath healing, by the way. I really do unironically love that. Did they widen that? Real question. Might just be the fact that I'm paying more attention to it here in a safe environment. So, I really like how this feels, admittedly, and it does have some decent impact. The biggest thing I don't like about it, from a personal perspective, is it feels like if I run out of cooldowns, I'm screwed. And you'll notice most of my stuff is cooldowns. I do have a bread and butter. Yeah, and I'll admit I'm not a good healer. I just don't have the experience with it to really hang. And yeah, the filler spell is not great. Oh man, this would be a great healer to have in a raid. But as you might imagine, all my experience is in dungeons, where I have no one to... Thank you, Cynthilius. No one to fill in the cracks that I'm leaving because I'm not good enough. Either way, try to be shocked. I do still think the visuals are damn good. What do you feel about impact? Because I feel like it fits in a similar slot as discipline, right? Like that slot where you don't see the heal the same way other people do, but you can still, in a very satisfying way, just kind of be like, no, I'm taking all that damage back. Yeah, exactly, Huthor. Thank you, Doralis, for the sub, as always. Give me a moment. Dispatch, ESO, and Donkey Kong Bonanza. I would say it deserves at least one on impact. I don't know. What are we feeling? What do we give Discipline? Let's double check our notes. Discipline we actually gave 2. What are we feeling? Is it as good as Discipline? On impact. Just on impact. Nothing else. Yeah, that would be this thing. Wait, that's not it. That's not it at all. No! No! Now, this would be the heal breath. You also have the regular old breath. Then there's augmentation. I wish augmentation was more of a buff support spec. It's not the first time I've said that, and it probably won't even be the last. Yeah, and everyone cried and ruined the game for everyone, as they always do. Whiners. So, oh god. So I don't really run augmentation because I honestly don't think it's as fun anymore. So, I mean, it's still good. I just want it to be more what it is instead of trying to be anything else. It still looks great and sounds great. It is a modern class. Of course it does. I will say I think its impact was pulled down a little bit because of the nerfs, but it's not like it doesn't have impact. I've actually wondered before if they flipped a few other specs to support, if it would smooth out a bit, you know? Thank you for the sub, Got Lucky. If you would like to, you can put that towards increasing interest in up to 3 future streams. But either way, appreciate you. But I still feel the impact of playing as Augment. I have. Every time I've gone Augment into a dungeon, it is noticeable how much I am boosting the rest of the team. But yeah, no, exactly, Luthor. They need to commit. They need to sit down and hammer out, do we want support specs in WoW? If they do it. If they don't, rework AUG into something else and walk away from it. I have had the great joy of occasionally doing augmentation in a raid, and let me tell you, AUG in raid is fun. In a dungeon, it's a little bit iffier, but in a raid, it's just, yeah! It's great. I'm sorry. No more fun. No more joy. Who we got left? Druid. Druid. So, Homeworld, you got it. I can absolutely do that. Remember, you can pick 2 more if you want to. So, hold on.
Shop, browse, smell.
There we go. Now I actually look cool. I am a druid. I am here to heal you. You will be healed. Okay. Hey, Random. Congrats. Okay, so I kind of already prefaced my opinion on this, but... yeah. Druid healing looks cool and feels great. I will admit the sound design is a little bit lacking, comparatively speaking. Like, it's fallen behind a little bit compared to the other ones, but... it looks so good and it feels so good to be a druid healer. You just watching those heals just tack off there and by the dozens. And yeah, Tranquility is literally iconic. Goes all the way back to Warcraft 3. Arguably one of the best ultimates in Warcraft 3, if used properly. It's probably not even as obvious how much greenery I'm shoving out of the ground here, because I'm doing this over grass, but you can kind of get a vibe for it. Anyways, give me a second to get out of combat. Give me a second. Correct, random. Tyrande was supposed to be marksman. How much of that's true gets a little debatable, but it's supposed to be marksman. Hello, can I get out of combat, please? Get me out of combat. Oh god. Okay, we're out of combat. We're out of combat. Alright. Let's just get Bear out of the way. We know this is gonna go terribly. Unbearably. No. Unbearably. There we go. This is gonna go unbearably. I'm so sorry. I have never experienced that before, Udor. So Bear, right? Where's my tank? Where's my stuff? Going on. Whoops. Let me just hit the wrong button. For what it's like, I really like Druid Tank. Evo, I knew it! You're playing Holy Paladin, no! Speaking of which, so Evo, I know you're considering playing a Druid with your Harnier. Allow me to just say, I think you'd like Druid tanking. Nice big hit, really big AoE hit, super big hit, which will bleed. Swiping tech is free, by the way, and spammable. This is our filler move, is our swipe, which just does a nice, big sweeping attack. It's your filler move is an AoE, Evo. Then you've got the real stuff. So, I'm not impressed with the audio, honestly. I'm liking the visuals. It looks nice and meaty. It almost looks more feral than feral. We got, like, the swipes and the red claws and blood gushing all over the place. Like, I'm kind of with it, you know? Yeah, you notice I'm not even using Iron Fur here. Here's Iron Fur. Can you tell? Because I can't. And I know this feels nice and meaty. Bear has some really good impact to it. I just realized I can switch to actual WoW music. It's not Orgrimmar. Yes, to Quack. Yes, I am. So speaking of feral. Speaking of specs that have always kind of been lacking in their own identity. They have changed the core identity of feral so many times at this point. I remember when feral was just a poor man's rogue. I also remember when it was like Bleeds Are Us. I also remember when you needed a spreadsheet to play it. It's obviously in a much better place now, but, you know, still. Aw. Well, thank you, Got Lucky. You're always welcome here, even if you just want to poke your head in for a bit. I stream pretty much every day. I'm actually going to take a break soon to set up for the Lord Walker Game Awards. By the way, make sure you get those nominations in. We're basically cutting that off, like, tomorrow, so. Feral Druid. Can't remember how to play here really quick. You got it. So we'll put that towards FTL. And Jedi Fallen Order. Done. Appreciate you. So, once again, the visuals are nice and feral. No pun intended. Look at that. Just the strikes, the blood. I wasn't sure I liked the audio, but just listen to this for a second. It's almost understated, but yeah, the growls and the slices and the wet. You can more or less hear the blood hitting the ground. So I'm actually more impressed with that than I thought it would be. So, now time for my second favorite druid spec. If I can get out of combat. There we go. Imagine if this was FF14 and I had to right-click the thing and say, reset threat to get out of combat. So, balance druid. I think I've made my point. It looks good, it sounds good, it feels good. Balance is in a really good space, in my opinion. At least as far as just sheer enjoyability. Oh my god, Mr. Red. I will admit I am absolutely biased a little bit. I have always liked Starfall as a spell. Also, this spec has the ability to throw moon at people. Oh no, not that one. That one? Okay, that... It's not as impacting as it should be. Where's my moon? My moon. Do I have something that screws with my moon? Where's my moon? Ah! They got rid of my moon! Oh, well. They nerfed it. Used to be this giant freaking moon, which scales... Ah, it's cool. Negatives! Negatives for nerfing me throwing a moon at people. Ugh. 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 Okay, whatever. I'm not going to add that category as R, but if you want to put that under meme or lorium, that's where that would belong. Although we only have space for like one more. Elune was like, no, stop throwing moons at people. Like, but why? I like throwing moons. Okay, fine. Just two left. So first we're going to do one that I am most familiar with because it's my freaking main. I'm going to get this out of the way quickly. This is going to score well. Demon Hunter is Demon Hunter. I honestly don't feel the need to make my point there. So what's going to happen is sometime tomorrow or Wednesday, I'm going to go ahead and set up the votes. There will be links to them, and I'll put something up on the website probably. And I'll definitely have something on the Discord. And you'll be able to go to a site called RCV, which handles ranked choice voting. What that means is rather than saying, I pick that, you say, I pick this first, then this second, then this third, then this fourth, etc. As far down the list as you want to go. It's up to you. You have to pick at least one thing. But whether you pick 1 or 2 or 8 or 15, that's up to you. And then I tabulate all that, and then we have our winners, and I'll do a little show showing it off. The nominees are you can find right now if you type !LGA into chat. Now, obviously Havoc is just amazeballs. Surely Tank isn't good, right? Yeah, so, yeah, I'm obviously being facetious. Of course it's good. I admittedly don't think it is as good, but it is still freaking good. Devourer, I believe. Yeah, the biggest problem with Vengeance, and you notice I dinged it on both audio and visual from Havoc, is it just does not have that same oomph that Havoc does. It is an incredibly mobile tanking spec. And I think most people who are even remotely enjoy tanking would enjoy tanking on a Demon Hunter. You have several tools in your kit. You can heal, you can move, you can outposition. You gain abilities to, like, yank things to you. You gain abilities to stun things. Like, your ability to lock down the enemy is kind of unparalleled. But I do agree that it should be more of an evasion tank. This is a suspicion. But I have always felt that the reason Demon Hunter is less evady is because they thought that was the monk's domain, which, to be fair, it is. And they didn't want to repeat an evasion tank. Last, and most assuredly not least. So, welcome to Warrior, but better. That is barely a joke. What are we right now? Unholy? So, this may sound strange, but Unholy is kind of what Fury should be. Notice that unlike Fury, which is a constant button mash of doom, just to keep up, it's a little more patterned, like we were seeing over on, oh god, I don't remember the other spec. The spec where it wasn't as bad. Oh, it was Monk. It was Monk. So, yeah. Fury, but better. It's the same type of spec. It's a Chipper Shredder spec, where you're just supposed to send wave after wave after wave of stuff at the enemy. Between dots and pets and lots of attacks which stagger on themselves. No, stop. And debuffs which allow you to do something, and procs which allow you to do something. And several really big, meaty cooldowns. No. Still waiting for my dots to fall off so I can switch. Stop attacking it. Why are you still attacking it? Quit it. Come here. Come here. Okay. We're good. So, if that's what Fury should be, what should Arms be? Look at that. They did something really smart in the animation department, too. I don't even mean summoning the frickin' thing. No, check this out. One of the main attacks, their main spender, is a downward swing. One of their main builders is an upward swing. So, there's the upward. There's the... I think I mixed that up. It's actually the spender is the upward, and the builder is the downward. But see, you see how that just kind of flows naturally into itself? And yeah, all of the ice strikes and the sound of it. Yeah, of course. It's been. I think it's been a success, allowing people to nominate all year. So I see no reason to pull that away. And hang on, I want to show off that Syndragosa one more time. I think that depends on your spec setup, which I don't think I actually have, Dream Whisperer. God, did you see the scythe, by the way? You saw the scythe, right? Yeah, Chains of Ice slows. You gotta go. It's not even on my bar. Yeah, there it is. Okay, but hang on. For real. Syndragosa. That is so quick, but like, it's just such a good job of conveying it. And did you hear the sound as that was just roaring as it goes by? Yeah. So if you want to play an arms warrior, in other words, if you want to play a warrior with a big ol' frinkin' honkin' weapon that just smashes into your enemy, Frost Death Knight. And then there's Blood. Oh god, I'm still in combat. Hang on. Blood is strange. A properly skilled Blood Death Knight is going to just sit there and laugh at anything that's going against it. There's a reason why so many of those solo raid boss, while that raid boss is current content streams or YouTubes, is someone who's a Blood Death Knight doing it. Yeah, Blood is crazy. Here's the thing. First of all, it's a very wet-sounding class. I admit I'm not as much of a fan as I would like to be. Unlike the Feral Druid, I think it just kind of detracts from it here. Especially that one ability right there. You hear that a lot. Still, I would say it looks damn cool. And as far as Viscerality, absolutely. Or that is to say, Impact, excuse me. I'm not sure any tank has the same level of impact as a Blood Death Knight. Not even Vengeance does. Hey, Ross. And with that, I believe that's all the specs. Now, I can hear my nieces running around, so I might not have time to really cover the hero specs like I wanted to. What am I missing over here? Yeah.
Darkness. Dinner.
Okay.
Maria.
I don't know who this Maria person is. I'm streaming. I'm working.
Okay.
But
And
I
it
am
is
also...
dinner.
What is with your hands? Oh my god, why are your hands so cold?
I made new soap
Oh. So why are they cold?
because I washed them a couple times.
We need to get your
See?
hands warm. Yeah, I see. Now you've soaped me.
It's okay, but my new soap, I call it the Yona Sparkle Washer because when you wash with it, your hands look sparkly, a bit sparkly after.
It does sound cool. I'll be down in a minute, okay?
Okay, I had that in my...
Scooch,
Right here.
Scooch.
Okay. Wait, did you take a nap today?
No.
Okay.
So, Scooch. Scooch. I'll be back. I will be down in a minute, okay? So that means tomorrow morning, for those of you interested, we will go ahead and do the hero spec look-ats. That'll be interesting. I don't think it'll take as long as some people think, because a lot of that is mostly mutators on existing abilities. Don't mistake me, there's significant mutators, and in several cases they completely change how you play the class. But that's the point. We know how to review mutators, so I'm not super worried about that. Once we've covered the mutators, the next thing I want to cover after that is the new content, the stuff I haven't seen at all. The Pandaren Heritage Quest, the recap, whatever that is, and the new quest. So yeah, we'll be wrapping up tomorrow. See you in a bit.